My name is Jaime Valenzuela, and I am the Archivist and Scholarly Communications Lead here at the Daniel F. Cracchiolo Law Library. I am grateful for the opportunity to introduce an exhibit honoring the legacy of Vine Deloria Jr. As an archivist, I am responsible for managing items of enduring value in their numerous forms. Each item that I have chosen to curate for this exhibit may not hold enduring value for one reason or another. Collectively, I hope that this exhibition of books, objects, records, and other items will help create a memory that is worth holding on to, and in some meaningful way speaks to Vine's legacy. With that, I share Vine, Bibliography and Beyond. To begin, I'll highlight the sign which was designed by a member of our college's marketing team, Shelley Denman. Thank you, Shelley. This sign is inspired from the original University of Arizona American Indian Studies 1982 logo, created under the efforts of former AIS Associate Head, Dr. Robert Martin, as well as the entire AIS department. The original AIS logo is included in the exhibit alongside a book titled American Indian Studies, Native PhD Students Gift Their Stories. It is edited by current AIS faculty member Mary Jo Tippeconic Fox and AIS doctoral program alumni Mark L. M. Blair and Kestrel A. Smith, published in 2022. Vine's legacy continues in the scholarship produced by former, current, and future AIS students here at the university. Vine's legacy extends to the Rogers College of Law as well, given his work with the Indigenous Peoples Law and Policy Program. A founder of the program that started in 2001, Vine's legacy continues today through future, current, and past IPLP students sharing their voices. One such voice includes IPLP alumnus Joseph K. Austin's scholarship on Navajo Common Law, which is currently showcased on the upper level of the law library. When the work of both AIS and IPLP students are spotlighted, Vine's legacy is honored. I did not have the pleasure of knowing Vine, so why shorten his full name in the exhibit title? I provide you with two reasons. One, it makes the title a little more personal, which I hope helps create a lasting memory of the exhibit. Second, I've been told that Vine preferred to see his full name without the comma, because the comma was omitted on his birth certificate. I share this information with all of you to avoid the embarrassment of excluding the placement of a grammatically correct comma with Vine's full name on the exhibit sign, if at some point I learned that Vine had no issues with the punctuation mark. I also share this as a means to laugh at myself, given how much time I may or may not have spent thinking about this choice, which is something I hope Vine would appreciate in a stranger. These three book titles, When the Legends Die, Little Big Man, and Stay Away Joe, are all on exhibit in their original cover jackets. In curating, I thought it was important to spotlight these three works, because as I've engaged with Vine's work, limited as it may be, it is clear to me that though Vine shared his own voice, he made it clear the importance of having multiple native voices shared, because each voice is unique in its own and is also reflective in Vine's work. This brings me to bibliography. Bibliography has two meanings. It is a listing of books specific to an author or subject. The second meaning, ensured simply as possible, it is the study of a book as an object. It's not lost on me that Vine had his thoughts on those who chose to study people as an object, so I hope there are those of you who can take humor in my title choice as well. Looking at the book as an object, the books curated for this exhibit were authored, edited, or inspired by Vine. One book in particular has been inscribed. Inscribed meaning that the copy has been autographed or inscribed by the author. It often implies further that the copy has been inscribed to somebody or for somebody, or that a sentiment of some kind accompanies the signature. The inscribed copy on exhibit is a first edition, hardcover with its dust jacket of Custer Died for Your Sins, an Indian manifesto. This particular copy of Custer is open to Vine's signature and words addressed to someone named Sophie. It is dated September 19th, 1969. Other copies of Custer on exhibit include a 1969 reprint in Spanish, a 1970 reprint in paperback, a 1972 reprint in French, and the 1988 reprint with a new preface that Vine authored here in Tucson by University of Oklahoma Press. These reprints and prints in other languages speak to Vine's reach, which extends beyond the book as well. The album Custer Died for Your Sins was released in 1970. The majority of lyrics were written by Jimmy Curtis with vocals performed by Floyd Westerman. An Undated Zine, a small, often self-published work of original or appropriated text entitled Pieces, contains Vine's paragraph on anthropologists from Custer. Also on exhibit is the August 1969 issue of Playboy magazine, which features the Custer chapter on anthropologists. Early during the curation process, I was enamored with the original book jacket cover of Custer. For those interested in the cover and in Custer in greater detail, I refer you to Phil Deloria's 2019 keynote address to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the publication of Custer Died for Your Sins. In that keynote, Phil shares that the cover was designed by Phil McWhorter, a young hotshot designer at Pushpin Studios, a studio described as the definitive art studio in New York City for over 20 years. In the early stages of planning this exhibit, I had intention of spotlighting the cover of Custer and had hoped that I would be able to speak to it. Similarly, others involved in the planning of the second annual Arizona Tribal Education Symposium were hopeful that I could include physical objects beyond the book to exhibit, in particular, photographs of Vine. Unfortunately, those photos proved challenging to come by locally, and after engaging with Phil's keynote multiple times, I pivoted to the photograph on the back of the Custer book jacket, which is enlarged and on exhibit. This portrait was taken by Alan Rinzler. Rinzler was an editor and publisher at Macmillan, and according to Rinzler, he was the editor who worked with Vine on Custer. Soon after working with Vine on Custer, Rinzler became an editor at Rolling Stone magazine, where he started a book division for Rolling Stone, a publisher named Straight Arrow Books. In 1971, it was Straight Arrow who published Vine's Of Utmost Good Faith. I share this information on Rinzler to say that Vine's manifesto not only called for a young hotshot to work on the cover of the book jacket, but his manifesto required a young hotshot to work on the manuscript and the back of the book jacket as well. For my analytical bibliography, this is the only occasion in which a portrait of Vine is included on the book jacket in lieu of a headshot for works authored by Vine. The final word of the exhibit title is Beyond. Soon after the publication of Custer, reviews of the book were published rapidly. One such review would be written by James E. Officer, an anthropology professor here at the University of Arizona, whose papers now reside at the Arizona Historical Society Tucson location. The Officer book review would appear in the Volume 12 Autumn 1970 issue of Arizona in the West, a journal published here on the University of Arizona campus. Prior to submitting that review, Officer wrote to Vine seeking to establish a prior acquaintance they shared, and to share the following words on Custer with Vine directly. Quote, "Full of hyperbole and a couple of outright stretchers, to borrow a word from Mark Twain, whose writing style has affinities with yours. This, by the way, is intended as a high compliment, Twain being one of my favorite writers, stylistically at least. Also, full of great insight, common sense, a greater awareness of the problems, note the plural, of American Indians than any other author I have read, all sprinkled with fine dabs of Delorian humor. In short, the best book on contemporary American Indians I have ever read, in spite of the fact that some of my own ventures fare badly at your hands." End quote. The full correspondence from Officer to Vine and the reply from Vine to Officer in February 1970 is on exhibit thanks in part to the Arizona Historical Society. Drawing back to Phil's keynote, positioned near the Playboy magazine is a Don Corleone Funko Pop figurine given Vine's love for The Godfather. In the Law Library reading room, I share a record of Claude King which features an apparent country song favorite of Vine, Overton Mountain, an original IBM Selectric typewriter, and a coffee table. I couldn't quite fit a regular-sized coffee table in our exhibit cases, so I settled on a miniature coffee table thanks to Cosmo Kramer. I don't know if Vine was a Seinfeld fan, but I took my chances. The last objects I highlight include Vine's chair. This chair permanently resides in the office of University of Arizona Regents Professor Robert Williams, who is sharing this chair with us. Also located in Rob's office is a picture of Vine sitting in the chair, and right behind him is his trusty action figure of librarian Nancy Pearl. Barbara Deloria, I'm thinking of you. Thank you all very much.